This is Global Missing Persons Alert, Interpol Yellow Notice number 21-22733. It is Sunday, November 17th. It is 1:10 p.m. and I am getting ready to call Abdul Ali, the UN Mission of Foreign Affairs to the Kingdom of Bahrain to make an additional report on Stuart Zukrow at 39401 Helena Avenue, Sterling Heights, Michigan, 48313 for sex trafficking, Elizabeth Victoria White, and the FBI operational house that he calls his own. Okay? And I've already made this report previously with the Kingdom of Bahrain. And I'm going to record it this time for the listeners to hear, because I am getting ready to pull Stuart Zukrow's mask off and expose him up front and before the entire global public, so that the investigators here in America, with their simple brains and simple minds and the training that they don't have, can do the job that they are paid to do and investigate Stuart Zukrow and the FBI for sex trafficking rooms out in exchange for blowjobs and hosting illegal poker games at the house that is equipped with trick windows, false windows, including in the main bathroom, with which the other side goes to Stuart's room, and the house is full of hollow walls and everything else. And 5 years into this, Stuart Zukrow, and all his ignorance, arrogance, and narcissism, absolutely refuses to report to law enforcement the full details that he does have on kidnapping, human trafficking, murder, and terrorism. And I'm about to pull his mask off publicly and globally before him and the rest of the world. So I'm getting ready to call Kingdom of Bahrain right now.
Permanent mission of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the United Nations. If you know your party's extension, please dial it now. Please stay on the line while your call is transferred to the operator. Is not available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone. Press the pound key to end recording.
Yes, this is Global Missing Persons Alert, Interpol Yellow Notice number 21-22733, and this is an emergency message for Abdul Ali of the Kingdom of Bahrain, UN Mission of Foreign Affairs. And I am calling to repeat my previous report against Stuart Zukrow, contracted operative for the FBI at 39401 Helena Avenue, Sterling Heights, Michigan, 48313, for sex trafficking rooms out in exchange for blowjobs and hosting illegal poker games in the FBI operational house that he calls his own. Okay, and back in December, when Stuart had informed me that Abdullah was leaving as a tenant from his home to go to Yemen for 2 months, okay, and Stuart said that he was going to be placing an ad to rent the room out again, and this is when I was still at CIA, Macomb County Corporate Council, U.S. Army Private Corporate Military Contract at KMG Prestigious Lawrence Park in Centerline, Michigan. I had asked Stuart, could I rent the room? And Stuart told me that my money is no good, that he cannot rent the room out for money, that he specifically needs to rent the room out for blowjobs, for sex trafficking the rooms out. And that was not something I was willing to accept, nor was I in the position where I had to accept it at the time. So Victoria had found out the room was available. Elizabeth Victoria White. This is when she was still in Syracuse, before she ran away. Okay, in January, when I bought her the train ticket and brought her here to Michigan. And Victoria had decided, due to the position and the circumstances that she was in which she felt threatened for her life, and she said it was absolutely worth it for her to come to Michigan and have to suck Stuart Zukrow's dick just to have a roof over her head and a place where she could at least be safe for her own survival. So I bought her the bus ticket, and you know the story from there. Then when she got here, okay, and then when I ended up at Stewart's after Homeland Security contractor Richard Griffin put his size 12 foot through my door, okay, and I decided for my own safety and protection to leave Lawrence Park, and I used Victoria to convince Stewart to let me come there and stay in his sunroom. And the only reason Stewart let me was because Victoria had talked him into it, okay? And Victoria was the one that was being trafficked and sucking his dick in exchange for a room for her own survival, okay? So when I got to Stewart's, okay, Victoria had started opening up to me and telling me about all the weird extra stuff going on down in Stewart's basement, and how it was costing her her soul, and how she hated Stewart more than anybody, and how she cannot even tolerate to be in that house. While she would try to avoid being there, and she would sneak out, and she would stay gone for 15, 16, 17, 18 hours a day, trying to avoid Stewart, while Stewart creeps around like the creeper peeper that he is, okay, spying on people, okay, and pretending like, you know, he's so innocent, like he's some straight and narrow role model citizen, and he's not. He's a predator. He's a sexual predator. He's a disgusting teen. So Victoria had and I had told Victoria, well, you kind of knew this before you came, and you said that I asked you, was it worth it to you? And you said, yes, it was worth it. And she said, yes, she did say that, and it was worth it, but she did not anticipate all the weird extra stuff that Stewart told her if she did not go along with it, it was going to be a deal breaker, and that she was going to end up homeless. And she went along with it for as long as she could, and then she decided it was better to just either go back to where she came from or be homeless. And that is when she left. Okay, there's a whole lot of details in this. Okay, for one, Stewart's been sex trafficking that room out in exchange for blowjobs for a very long time. And from what I understand, there's a previous woman that was there named Veronica. And I can't verify the accuracy of this or not. It's for America's paid experts to investigate and determine what is true or not. But from what I am told is that Veronica was being trafficked. Well, in addition to Stewart sex trafficking her in exchange for blowjobs, okay, she was being sex trafficked by the corporate state of America, okay, and I don't know whatever happened to this woman, okay. There are other stories. The Stewart's next door neighbor, Annette, told me that there was another woman there who that Annette said she used to feel so sorry for, and one day that woman was out shoveling the driveway, and she just looked at Annette, and she threw her hands up in the air, and she said, I can't do this no more. And she threw all her stuff in the car, and she left, and she never came back. Okay, she's probably one of the lucky ones. Okay, Stuart Zukrow, in all his ignorance, arrogance, and narcissism, thinks because he's a contracted operative for the FBI, he thinks that he has nothing to worry about. And you know what? In the United States of America, which is the world's largest human child sex organ and satanic cult trafficking industry in the whole world, he probably doesn't, because This is not a civilian nation. It is a terrorist corporation, and the State Department, by their own admission, says they have so many contracted operatives and secret spies in America that they don't even know who all their own spies are and where they are or how many they are. It is impossible to keep track, and that is why most Americans cannot and will not report the crimes that they absolutely do know about to law enforcement, because that's what the United States of America Incorporated really is. It's not a nation, it's not a country, it's a corporation owned by the Bank of England, owned by the Vatican. Okay, and the civilian population is the minority. Okay, and even they are brainwashed and cult indoctrinated, and they know very well. They, by their own admission, go to the tolls and choose the lesser of two Satans to vote for, while all they do is bitch and complain about the criminals in Washington and how satanic and wicked their government is. While at the same time, they enjoy feeding their flesh. They enjoy sitting there getting all self-absorbed in their CIA manufactured sports media and entertainment that fills the voids of their empty, meaningless, pathetic lives, bought and paid for with other people's flesh and blood and child sex ritual sacrifice. And Americans know that. They know that if it weren't for other people's flesh and blood and child sex ritual sacrifice, that they would not have the sports, media, and entertainment that they absolutely do need to fill the voids of their empty, meaningless, pathetic lives. And so, I'm getting ready to open up a whole can of worms and pull Stuart Zukrow's mask off before the entire world, live in public on a world stage, in what is a humiliation ritual. That's what Americans like to do. That's the Satanists that they are. That's what the Epstein and the P. Diddy tapes and all that is about. It's about humiliation rituals, okay, to take people's power away. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm about to do a huge humiliation ritual against Stuart Zukrow in the United States of America in the FBI. Thank you and have a good day.